Good morning. I am Sarita Tekil, Chief Professionist at Aster Medcity, Kochi, India. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to AMSECT and ISECT for organizing this joint session and giving me an opportunity to be a part of it. I am presenting a case series on a hybrid cardiosurgical procedure, the frozen elephant trunk operation. I have no disclosures. The contents of my presentation includes introduction, patient details, perfusion strategy, monitoring of adequacy of perfusion, postoperative course, and conclusion. Cardiopulmonary bypass has been highlighted as one of the most important scientific discoveries of the 20th century. Extracorporeal circulation has contributed to the growth and proliferation of cardiac surgery. Technical and technological advances in the field have enabled and encouraged surgical units to take up increasingly complex and high-risk patients for life-saving surgical procedures with highly improved patient outcomes compared to the clinical situation hitherto encountered. This presentation highlights perfusion management for frozen elephant trunk operation on a series of patients operated at a tertiary referral healthcare center in India. Frozen elephant trunk operation is a hybrid procedure. That is, it is a combination of open and endovascular procedure. Here, the aim of this operation is to make a secondary intervention unnecessary or to provide an easy landing zone for a future intervention. The sequence of events include placement of a guide wire in aortic arch, supra-aortic graft implantation, opening aortic arch, stent graft delivery, innominate artery implantation to the graft, supracoronary graft to stent graft anastomosis, implantation of left common carotid and left subclavian artery to the graft. We had 4 patients diagnosed with acute type A aortic dissection extending into the descending aorta. Comorbidities included hypertension and diabetes. Mean age was 45 years. The perfusion strategy includes cannulation, myocardial protection, monitoring adequacy of perfusion, circuitry, and cerebral protection. Cannulation. Which one to choose? Left artery artery, right artery artery, or femoral artery? We excluded femoral artery because there was chance of retrograde dissection, and so we selected left artery artery and right artery artery for cannulation. After induction, the patient was heparinized with 1 mg per kg of heparin before sternotomy. Right and left artery artery were cannulated with 8 mm Dacron graft. There was provision kept for left common carotid artery and for distal perfusion. This is the picture showing cannulation of right artery artery and the left artery artery. Here, the arteries are cannulated with Dacron graft, and these Dacron grafts are connected to the respective arterial lines with a 3/8 1/4 connector. We don't use an arterial cannula here. Our circuit consists of 2 arterial pumps, 2 roller pumps we use as centrifugal pump is not used for such cases as the cost matters. Sorin 6 oxygenator was used. Hemofilter was also included in the circuit. An extra heat exchanger was added to the circuit in case selective cooling is required. This is our modified circuit. This is the first roller pump, and this is dedicated for left artery cannulation. Here, the arterial line goes to the table, and here we have a bifurcation. One is for distal perfusion, and the other one for left artery perfusion. Here we have a bifurcation in the arterial line that goes to the second pump, which is dedicated for right artery cannulation. The arterial line then divides into 2 on table, one for left common carotid line and the other one for right artery cannulation. Here we have modified the circuit with the bridge line that is connecting both the right and left arterial lines. The purpose of this bridge line is that once the left arterial perfusion is no longer required, we can clamp this line and the first pump itself can be used to direct blood to the right artery. We don't have to recirculate the first pump for rotating the second pump. The second pump can be off and the first pump itself can be used to pump blood to the right artery line through the bridge line. Monitoring during CPB includes right, left radial artery and femoral arterial line, central venous pressure, NIRS, and CSF pressure. Procedure. Before going on bypass, guide wire was placed in ascending aorta through femoral artery and its position was confirmed in true lumen with the help of TOE. We initiated bypass with right and left artery lines. Venous cannulation was through RA. The patient was cooled to 26 degrees. Aorta was close clamped and antegrade and retrograde cardioplasia were given. We use cold custodial cardioplasia for myocardial protection. Supracoronary aortic graft was implanted. At 26 degrees, innominate artery was clamped and left subclavian artery was ligated. Here we stopped distal perfusion. Left common carotid artery was selectively cannulated with a 14 French true flow cannula. Selective antegrade cerebral perfusion was initiated with a flow of 10 to 12 ml per kg per minute. Aortic arch was opened. Evita plus 10 graft was deployed antegrade into the descending aorta. The cuff of the graft was switched to the descending aorta prior to pulling the invaginated graft out. During this time, the perfusion is through left common carotid artery, right artery artery, and left artery artery. The left vertebral artery is also getting perfused through the left artery artery. Here, there is no distal perfusion during this time. After the graft was deared, distal perfusion was restarted with the help of a 30 French Foley's catheter, which was inserted into the graft portion of the stent graft. The balloon is inflated and the flows were started to keep a femoral arterial pressure of around 50 millimeters of mercury. We use this Foley's catheter for distal perfusion because there is no extra limb for distal perfusion in the graft portion of the stent graft. Innominate artery is then anastomosed to the graft. After that, distal perfusion through Foley's was stopped. Innominate artery clamp was released. The whole body perfusion was restarted through the right artery line. Evita graft was anastomosed over the supracoronary aortic graft. While rewarming, cross clamp was released. Left common carotid artery was anastomosed to the neograft. Left artery perfusion was stopped, and the same 8 mm graft which was used for cannulation was anastomosed to the neograft, and we came off CPB. Monitoring during CPB is very important. Right and left radial artery pressures were continuously monitored, and also the femoral arterial pressure and venous saturation. Right and left radial artery pressures were maintained around 50 to 70 millimeters of mercury, and this is of this is of much importance when doing while doing selective antegrade cerebral perfusion. NARS was continuously monitored. CSF pressure was maintained below 10 to 12 millimeters of mercury. For this, lumbar epidural catheters were inserted and CSF was drained. DO2 was well maintained. Hemoglobin was kept between 8 to 10. Alphastat was used for blood gas management. Average visceral ischemic time was 50 plus or minus 10 minutes. Postoperative course, there was no neurological injury. The postoperative period was uneventful. The lumbar catheters which were used for CSF drainage were removed the 24 to 48 hours after the surgery. The important points to be noted are 3 head vessel perfusion, nurse monitoring, visceral reperfusion as early as possible, which is very important. While the advances in medicine inspires to serve an increased number of patients, the surgical units doing complex surgical procedures have to undergo intense brainstorming sessions involving all stakeholders to decide on the best strategy to be employed. Implementation of the strategy with a provision for a backup plan should any surprises pop up, strict adherence to the established protocols, and smooth interaction within the members of the surgical team are factors that contribute to a successful outcome. Another important aspect is debriefing after the completion of the procedure, wherein the entire process is laid threadbare to identify any shortcomings and suggest appropriate remedial measures. Thank you.